Alright guys, here's what's happening. So today I had an amazing day with my friends. We went out on the lake and we sunbathed and we talked and we had a couple of drinks and great old time. Alright, great old time. But here I am back at home walking to my house as I did last time. As you know. So let me spill out my thoughts on life. I'm not gonna record any houses and such. Hope you know that it's not personal. It's just for privacy reasons. But today I had a great day and got pretty drunk and had a philosophical conversation with my one distant friend who is a Christian. And I don't want to say I'm an atheist, but I kind of poked him on his beliefs and such. And, I guess the ultimate takeaway was that love in itself is just sort of a feeling, and you just kind of have to trust in that feeling. And I sort of had the same conversation just now for about an hour with my really good homie. This last homie that I talked to about God, I didn't know him that. I'm not as good as friends with him as this homie I just talked to, if that makes sense. But we talked about philosophy and shit, and I just kind of spilled my reasoning on how nothing actually matters, and you just kind of have to attribute value to everything. And that was kind of the main topic of conversation. We kind of went back and forth. He has a lot of hopes and beliefs about his future and his life and how he loves doing certain things, and I just sort of played devil's advocate and tried to get him to tell me why he trusts that sort of information. You can love something, and you can do things in your life, but at the end of the day, how do you know that that's not just a construct of your mind and actually means something? Ultimately, I guess it depends on if you attribute actual value to things, but I kind of play the pessimist point of view in saying that it's all just a construct of your mind and that nothing actually matters. It's just, again, a construct of the mind. You just kind of attribute value to things that you find meaningful, and you just kind of attribute value to things that you like based on your past experiences, because I don't think anything is necessarily just given to you. You kind of just have to go with the flow, and you kind of just have to adapt to things based on your past experiences, so I'm kind of a skeptic of all these things. I wouldn't consider myself an atheist, but at the same time, it's like, if a God exists, how do we know that a God exists? How do we have faith? There's so many great works, and there's the Bible, and there's the Quran. I am mispronouncing that horribly, but there's the Aztec gods, and there's the Christian God, and there's the Muslim God, and there's the Athens God, and there's the Greek gods, and there's the Roman gods, and it's just so much. It's like, how do you know what to actually believe in? Because there's so many, I guess, interpretations of what could exist beyond this world. One of my big points was that the Western world kind of destroyed the idea of God, and I think that that's manifesting itself in the amount of suicide rates that are happening. There's so many folks that are killing themselves these days. It's really sad to see. And I'm just kind of trying to find out the balance between, if a God exists, why does a God exist, and why does a God allow all this suffering in this world, and just living in the present moment as my privileged young self, I suppose. It's quite a mental battle, and a lot of the homies have labeled me doomer as such. Though I still wouldn't consider myself a doomer, because I think that underrepresents the main point that I'm getting at. I mean, ultimately, I guess things have meaning if you attribute meaning to them, because you have that ability, I suppose. You have that fundamental ability. I mean, I don't really know where that ability comes from, but you can still do that thing. And if that works for you, that works for you. And that's good. All right, if you're one of those people who just go through life and they work a job and you do all the things you're supposed to do. You pay rent, and maybe you're supposed to maybe have a significant other, and you just kind of go through the motions. That's good for you, man. But for me, it's just conflicting, man. I just don't know what it's all for, and I guess I don't really have a solid reason for what it's all for. I just kind of exist, and I do what I'm conditioned to do, and that kind of thing. Even though I had an amazing day today with my friends out on the lake, enjoying nature, enjoying each other's presence, I still just can't help but wonder what it's all for. And that's a dangerous feeling, I suppose. But maybe I just want to ignore responsibility in my life, and maybe I just want to embrace it. Yet, I'm at a crossroads where I don't know what to do, and I don't really care much for doing it, I suppose. So, it's kind of where I'm at. The philosophical belief is things have meaning if you attribute meaning to it, and things don't have meaning if you don't attribute to it. And if right now I just can't find, I suppose, a solid reason, a logical or theological reason to believe that there's something worth towards. But that may raise a lot of red flags, and I just want to say, man, I don't believe in those red flags. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna, end me, I suppose. I'm just trying to rationalize why things have meaning and why they have meaning, I suppose. Well, I hope that made some semblance of sense. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm at home and I'm locking in. But y'all have a good night. This is the grill. Yay! Y'all have a good night, man. Don't let it stop you. Goodbye.